So welcome back to episode 3, which is like 3 whole more episodes than I ever thought that I was gonna make of this. And last night my coworker was like, what are you gonna keep talking about on your YouTube channel? And I was like, I don't really know. I honestly have no idea. And then I was like, maybe I'll tell the story about the time that I ran into the deer on my road. And she was like, you should definitely tell that story. So here's the story about the time I put off my run until it was 11 p.m. at night, and then a deer almost killed me. So I know that that kind of sounds dramatic and probably not true, but deer are the single most terrifying animal that exist that you're gonna come into contact with semi-frequently in Cape Breton. So first and foremost, I live on a road that is like, not like a dirt road. It has like a decent amount of traffic, but it's kind of like in the woods. Like my house is pretty far back off the road, and we are just absolutely polluted with deer. I have been terrified of deer since I was a very tiny child. They're super weird and they move funny, and they're definitely not as scared of cars and people as they should be. So I lace up my shoes and I run down to my driveway. It was last summer, and I turned the corner to start running, and as I was going, I could just, like, I had a spidey sense. I was like, something about this situation isn't right. And so I looked up, and when I looked up, there was a deer. And he was ginormous, and he was standing in the middle of the road, and he was staring at me and stomping his feet. So remember how I said that deer aren't nearly scared enough of us? Well, I stand by that. So I've told this story at least 1 trillion times, because every single time someone's like, tell me a story about your run streak, I instantly think of the battle royale with the deer. So I didn't want to just sit in front of my coffee table and tell you guys this story, because it wouldn't have nearly the effect that actually recreating the moment would have for you guys. So please enjoy what is certainly going to be the cinematic peak of my YouTube career. Please go. Please go. Not towards me. Oh God. I'm gonna go ahead and clarify a few things about the video that you guys just saw. So the first thing is that it is 100% factually correct. Everything that you just saw in the video actually happened, including the size of the deer. I am like 1 trillion% sure that that is the actual size of the deer that was trying to slaughter me that night. And might I tell you folks that what you saw was just a small sliver of what was probably closer to a 5-minute interaction of a battle royale with the world's record-holding deer in terms of size. I decided after a long and drawn out battle that once the deer started to like huff through his nostrils and stomp his large cloven feet, that if he decided to actually have forward movement and come at me, I was a goner. So I admitted defeat and I went to back up to kind of like get a running start while also still keeping my eye on the deer to make sure that he wasn't just going to barrel me down the second my back was to him. And as I was like stepping back and turning, I saw in my neighbor's window my two neighbors watching the whole thing, the whole entire thing. And they were dying laughing. And as you can tell from the video, it wasn't really my finest moment in terms of like looking sane. So is anyone out there a runner? If yes, do you guys have weird stories in general, but more particularly, do you have stories where you've had to battle deer? Because I feel like that's a real thing. And when I asked people about it, everybody was like, oh my god, no, like deer are so scared of people. Like there's no way that a deer would do that. Like you're just crazy, like a deer wouldn't actually chase you. Guys, this deer was not just going to chase me, it was going to literally stomp the life out of me. You saw the size of that thing in the video, right? So I'm just looking for like more anecdotal proof that deer are in fact the devil. So if we could go ahead and gather some of that right now, that'd be great. Both of my dogs are well aware that deer are devils. They both viscerally hate deer. Like it's insane how much they hate deer. And my dogs are great judges of character. So if my dogs don't like deer, I'm not sure why anyone does. But yeah, so is there anyone watching this who actually thinks deer are like magical and sweet and kind of like the way they're portrayed on Bambi, which I've never seen, but I think is a good way? Let me know where you stand on the deer debate. Are you pro deer or are you deer or devil? Because I'm firmly deer or devil, and if you have a sweet story about a deer, let me know what it is and see if you can change my mind. I doubt that you can change it, but it never hurts to try. And in an effort to prove every single one of them wrong, I've found stories where deer have in fact hunted and beat up runners. One was in a road race where they were running a half marathon and the deer beat up a 13-year-old girl. I'd say check back in whenever the next episode will be released, but honestly I have no idea when that'll be. So thanks for watching. Bye.